Welcome to or back to Domestic Elements. I want to show you my apartment balcony garden setup pre-plants, along with a haul of my supplies on hand and seeds. Timestamps will be provided in the description box. I'm a very beginner gardener in Zone 7B who lives on the second floor with neighbors below, so I'm concerned about drainage leaking onto their balcony due to the gaps in the wood. My balcony is also positioned in the northwest. Since I'm on a balcony, I have to use a lot of different containers. An example of this is this Mr.stacky. So I put a terracotta pot at the top of this Mr.stacky to help with the watering process. This is called an Ola, and I plugged it with a wine cork. So this container has 5 tiers with 4 slots each, so I can plant 20 plants in this. And I put a drip tray at the bottom. This was bought separately, and I also put it on wheels for easy moving. And with the drip tray, I don't have to worry about wetting my neighbor's balcony. This isn't the biggest space, but I'm able to do a lot with it because I utilize things like the rails and hanging space, and sometimes I even have containers just hanging around, so I utilize the floor space. But the sky is the limit with your area. With me personally, I just experiment, and sometimes the way I have my plants don't work, so I have to hack it a little bit to make sure that my plants get the proper light and water. Sometimes it's too high, sometimes it's in the wrong spot. I'm learning as I go. This is a piece of a dog cage that I zip tied onto my rail, and what I'm going to do is hang plants off of that. So that's a way of me extending my space. I have a bird feeder. I'm going to show you later that birds are messy. They're getting seeds and feed everywhere. So I have a table and chairs for 2, which is nice because we have a lake view. This is a container I got from Amazon. It came with those 4 containers, and those were my green onions. This is a hanging container. I got 2 of those. This is a lavender shrub that I think is dead. I may be able to bring it back to life, but we will see. Let me show you my potatoes. So this is my first year growing potatoes, and I'm growing it in a Dollar Tree grow bag. I don't have the dimensions available off the top of my head, but my potatoes are sprouting. I'm super excited about that. I do think that the containers that I have to have it in is ugly and an eyesore, but that doesn't really matter. It's more of a function over form type thing. Here I am showing you how I clean up the bird feed. And I do have a push broom, but this little dustpan broom actually works better. But that's all for my garden tour. Now let me show you my supply haul and my seed haul. So the first thing I have is a grow bag. I got this at the Dollar Tree, and I'm actually growing my potatoes in a similar bag. So I think I'm going to use this bag to carry dirt, and this is also going to allow me not to track dirt downstairs to my neighbors. So this is dirt control, I guess you can say. So the next thing I have is perlite, and I mix this in with my soil, and this helps with drainage so my plants don't get root rot. And if I have like cheap potting soil, I mix this in with it along with some cocoa coir, which I'll show you later on. This next product I don't really care for. It's Plant Food by Miracle-Gro. You're supposed to dissolve some of it in water and then pour it on the plants. But even though I don't care for it, I do have it on hand, so I'll probably use some of it in the future. So this next product I have is seed starting mix, which I believe this is the same thing as cocoa coir, but I'm told that you can put this into cheap soil that's not that great and needs more nutrients, like something from the Dollar Tree or something like that, but that's what I plan on using this for. So here is an example of some of the low quality soil that I was telling you about. This is potting soil from the Dollar Tree, and it's something I had on hand. And this is seed starting mix from the Dollar Tree, but this is actually a brand that is sold other places also. So this yellow bag of potting soil is from Miracle-Gro. And because this brand is a little bit more well known for quality, I don't have to put as many additives in it. But I'm going to need to buy more bags of soil throughout this growing season anyway. So what I have here are seed started peat pellets. They're by Jiffy. There are 36 of them. And this is great because the container that I have has 36 spots. And I find that this is a clean way for me to start seeds inside my apartment. And I'm going to leave some video of the container that I put them in. And I believe I bought this from Walmart. This next product is something that I have on hand but don't really use too much. There are plant food spikes by Miracle-Gro, and I keep them on hand because they might be useful. And the way these work is you put them in the soil and water them, and it's supposed to provide your plant food and nutrients. So this is a shower curtain that I'm going to use by putting it on the ground to prevent dirt from getting onto my neighbor's balcony. And this is another way to control the dirt. Now let me show you my tools and such. So these are the basic garden spades and garden fork. These are some garden shears that I use to prune my plants. I also keep these chopsticks on hand for mixing purposes. These are garden ties that I actually use to put up the dog cage, but they're just good to have on hand. They're also regular zip ties as well. These are garden labels that I actually need to get more of, and those are some old chalkboard labels that I had used as garden labels as well. These are some plant clips that I got from the Dollar Tree, and they're really versatile. I'll show you what I use them for in a clip coming up. So I clipped this onto the dog cage that I zip tied, and I'm going to put plants in these containers. So back to the tools. These are some labels that I'll use if I want out of the other ones. And these are some garden hooks that help me reach my plants, really, so they're not up too high. And these are my various gardening gloves. So here I'm showing you how I use the garden hooks from Dollar Tree to make my hanging baskets lower so I don't have to strain my hands to water them. So I keep all my containers in this 5-gallon bucket from Home Depot, and it's pretty much my catch-all bucket. So some of the containers I have on hand are these containers that I got from the nursery. So I have them just in case I want to reuse them. And these are the ones that I'm currently not using. So these are some terracotta pots with their drip trays that I'm also currently not using. I'll probably make little olas or something like that out of these. I'll just put something in the hole so the water won't leak. So here's another container that I got from Lowe's, I believe, when I bought some plants in the past. So if need be, I will reuse these. So this is a rolling drip tray that I'm not currently using. I got this from Dollar Tree. I'm sure I'll use that in the future. This is a pot that I bought because I really liked the drainage. I also got this from the Dollar Tree, and I have another one that I have a money tree in, and I really like how I'm able to water it and the trays attach and catches the water. What I'm showing you now are some containers that I got from the Dollar Tree. They came in packs of 3. I got 2 different sizes, and I drilled holes at the bottom of them so that I can put plants in them, and I hung them on the dog cage with the plant clips. And this is a way that I was able to gain more space where I could plant other things at. So now on to my seeds and such. So this first is a heart paper that has seeds on it, and a friend of mine sent me this in a card, so I want to plant that. And I actually also want to try to make my own in the future. So I have these seeds that I got from the Dollar Tree along with the other stuff, but this is what I'm going to use for that project when I get around to it, along with some construction paper. This is a very quick look at the seeds that I'm planting this season. So these are some sunflower seeds that I got from my mother-in-law, and I'm only planting one because I want to give it to her. So this is how it looks so far. These are the seeds that I have on hand, but I'm not planning on planting this year. So this is a grow light that I got from Walmart. I'll put the information in the description box, but I'm planning on using it with the Jiffy container and those little seed pods. So the last thing I'll show you is my Aero Garden Harvest Touch. I bought this used, and so far it's been working good for me. I've had it for 26 days, according to the little screen. But I'm growing basil, curly parsley, mint, Thai basil, thyme, which is just sprouting, and dill, which hasn't sprouted yet, but I'm gonna grow them in here, then transplant them into my garden. Here I'm showing you that the light is adjustable. So that wraps up this video. In the future, I'm going to take you along with me on this apartment garden balcony journey. And thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you made it this far, leave me a plant emoji, any type of plant emoji. Thank you for watching and see you next time.